Hello there. I thought I would do a quick Q&A on weight loss. I get a lot of questions about that, and the number one question that I get when I inform someone that at one time I weighed 254 pounds and that I lost 65 pounds, the number one question I get, how long did it take? I don't know the answer that people are fishing for, if they want me to tell them that it took a short period of time. I'm not sure what they're wanting to hear. If that's some reassurance that, if they have over 50 pounds to lose, that they can do it in a reasonably short period of time. My answer is the first 55 pounds took about a year. When I was 254, my initial goal was to reach 199. I drew a line in the sand and decided I was going to go below 200 and stay there indefinitely. That's a rate of about a pound a week. The maximum amount that you can safely lose without risking losing muscle tissue is 1% of your current body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 2 pounds a week, approximately. For someone who's 150 pounds, that's about a pound and a half a week. Now, extreme weight loss shows like The Biggest Loser and things like that have led the public to believe that it's possible to lose 5, 10, even maybe 15 pounds a week. First of all, the so-called weekly weigh-ins on The Biggest Loser was actually several weeks worth of activity, it was later revealed. And they made a big deal at the weigh-in about saying this week's progress, but that's a week on the show. So what we see as a 16-episode season may have been 3 or 4 times that length in the number of weeks. So keep that in mind. Another thing is, I always like to remind people that the longer it takes, the longer it lasts. You want to be the tortoise, not the hare, right? There's no reason to rush to get these great results, okay? The longer it takes, the longer it lasts, because you have to adjust your metabolism and you have to re-establish your set point. Your body weight is set at a comfort level, like the thermostat in a room. And so when you adjust that dramatically, your body freaks out and you can quickly regain the weight, okay? Another reason that you don't want to try to lose a lot of weight really fast is that in order to do that, you have to go into a severe caloric deficit. The safe level of a calorie deficit is going to be something like 20%. That's just a rough number. I don't really track calories like that, but mathematically that might break down to about 500 calories a day difference between what you're taking in and what you're expending. So you would want to expend 500 calories over what you're taking in on a daily basis to add up to about a pound. And that's just a rough number. In order to drop 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds per week, you would have to go 4 and 5 times that amount. You would have to be in a caloric deficit, if it's even possible to be in a calorie deficit, for 1,000, 1,500, maybe even 2,000, depending on your metabolic rate. So in the face of a severe caloric restriction like that, your metabolism slows down. Your body slows its energy expenditure in a starvation response. And like I said, that makes you an easy target for rebound weight gain. When you resume your so-called normal eating habits, you will be able to add weight, or add body fat specifically, at a much lower calorie intake, and that's the exact opposite of a healthy metabolism. You should always strive to lose body fat on the highest possible food intake that you can and the least exercise that you possibly can. If you're having to severely restrict calories and do tons of exercise in order to lose weight, that's not going to be sustainable, because in the long run, you're not going to be able to keep up those habits week in, week out, months and months on end. So the question about how long it takes, it's going to take the rest of your life. You have to be willing to invest in the long term. It's like you're investing in the stock market, right? You may get short-term results may not be what you expected, but your investments pay off in the long run. So yeah, it took about a year to lose the first 55 pounds. And then within the next year, I was able to get down about another 5 pounds. And the following year, another 5 pounds, and so on until I had lost about 65 pounds. And at this point, I've actually gained a substantial amount of muscle mass. So my body weight is only about 50 pounds less than my highest, but the amount of body fat that I've lost is about 65 pounds. So I lost roughly 65 pounds, gained 15 pounds of muscle. So I don't measure it in terms of how much weight I've lost anymore, because I've been in a body recomposition and sustaining mode for several years now. I've actually been below the 200-pound mark for over 10 years. And that has fluctuated, as it always does, within a range of about 5 pounds. At any given moment, 200 is my maintenance. I don't freak out unless I get over 200 pounds. So as long as I'm at 199 or somewhere around that, I'm okay with it. And that number actually may be plus or minus 3 or 4 pounds one way or the other. So it could be anywhere from 197 to 203, and I still call that 200, because it can actually fluctuate as much as 5 pounds within a single week because of water moving in and out of the body, and the weight of the food, and hydration level, and so on and so forth. So once you've reestablished a set point for your metabolism and you've established those healthy lifetime habits, it's going to be less and less of a concern to you, the exact amount of weight. That may be a huge motivator in the early stages. I know it was for me. That number had a lot of meaning for me. To step on a scale and see a 1 at the beginning of the number instead of a 2, that was a really big deal for me. So after years of being in that minus, below 200-pound range, I've come to expect these minor fluctuations, and they're not, such a big deal as they were in the beginning stages, but whatever it takes to keep it going. So remember, 1% of your body weight. And for someone who's, over 200 pounds in 10 weeks, if you lost 20 pounds in 10 weeks, that would be phenomenal. Now, 20 pounds may not sound like much in the context of something like a reality television show making you think, or an infomercial, or someone you saw online, like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever. 20 pounds may not sound like much, but the impact that has on your health is enormous. And just reducing your body weight by 10 pounds can help improve all your health markers, and you would feel a lot better. You'd have a lot more muscle tone and definition, and you would perform at a higher level. So that's all for today. Thanks for listening, and I'll have more videos coming your way soon.